There's a face without a name tonight. Somebody's child, somebody's light, lost in the silence, lost in time, waiting for someone to recognize their eyes. You don't have to be a John or a Jane Doe. Somewhere out there somebody knows a mother's memory, a brother's pain. We're reaching out to bring you back your name. If you see this picture and something feels right, a familiar smile from another time, please help us bring them home where they belong, where they can finally rest, no longer gone, because no one should be lost forever. Their families need to know and find closure to weather the storm. All we want is to give you back your name and bring you home again. Every detail matters, every clue, a scar, a birthmark, a tattoo, a shade of blue, a story told. Does this jewelry sound familiar? Does this clothing ring a bell? Someone remembers, someone can say to the place they're from, the life they knew. Someone out there remembers you. You don't have to be a John or Jane Doe. We know someone out there is looking for you. Through the years and all the tears, we won't stop searching, we're still here. If you see this picture and something feels right, a familiar smile from another time, please help us bring them home where they belong, where they can finally rest, no longer gone, because no one should be lost forever. Their families need to know and find closure to weather the storm. All we want is to give you back your name and bring you home again. To the families still searching in the night, don't give up hope, don't stop fighting. To the ones who've been waiting all alone, we're working hard to bring you home. If you recognize this face, please make the call. One small memory could change everything. Help us bring them home where they can rest in peace. Give their family closure and at least restore their name. Because everyone deserves to be remembered. Everyone deserves to go home again. You don't have to be a John or a Jane Doe. Someone out there loves you, someone knows. Will keep searching until you're home. You'll never be forgotten, never alone.
Live on the air, it's Trial Junkies United, Justice After Dark, with your host, Z.
Hey everybody, I'm glad you're here. We have our lovely mods. Give them all some love. We have Southern Gal True Crime. We have Sleuthy Sweetheart, Chris G, a new person. Hey, Missing Black People, the Forgotten. Thank you for coming. Let's see. If I'm missing you, I don't mean to, but we have a guest tonight. So I'm going to go ahead. Miranda, thank you for coming. Let's go ahead and get started. It's September 8th, 2018. Sulphur Creek Road, Nashville, Tennessee. A body, advanced decomposition, no ID, no phone, no shoes. But she's wearing a story from head to toe in the Vanderbilt University gear. A black Under Armour jacket, a Zuzat leggings with the Vanderbilt logo, a running hip band or rocker belt. Even her sports bra suggests someone that's active, someone who belongs somewhere, someone who mattered to somebody. 6 years later, no name, just a case number and the nickname Vandy Doe. But tonight, that's going to change because when the system files someone away and moves on, people like our guests refuse to let them stay there, refuses to let them stay forgotten. So let me start by greeting you all, the truth seekers, the trial junkies, the justice warriors out there. I'm Z, your storyteller in this wilderness of injustice. My ride or die doc is riding shotgun as we navigate the case that time forgot and the budgets abandoned. Doc, are you ready for this one?
Yes, I am.
We're going to dive deep in the world of the Doe cases. People who've left this world without their names, you guys. It's filed away in a database. They're resting in an unmarked grave. These are the cases that kind of slip through the cracks. Years can pass, funding just dries up. Agencies, they have to move on. But we don't, and our guest doesn't, because they deserve their name back. And this isn't just about solving a mystery. That's not what this is about. It's about human dignity. It's about a family somewhere is searching. They're wondering what happened to their loved one, and they're hoping. It's about boldly saying that no matter how long this takes or how little money there is for the investigation, that you mattered. You deserved to be remembered for who you are. You deserve to have your name back, not just be found. So buckle up. The path ahead's going to get bumpy as we demand some justice for those who can't demand it for themselves, you guys. And every killer depends on your silence. But so does every nameless victim waiting to go home. Remember, silence is betrayal. So tonight, we're having someone that's extraordinary join us. She's a woman who isn't afraid to dive into the files. And she proves that everyday people can be heroes when they refuse to let the nameless stay forgotten. Her name is Christie Harris, and she runs the Unidentified, Nameless, and Never Forgotten Facebook group. And she has dedicated herself to identifying the Doe cases and working on them. And so, if you ever wondered whether one person can make a difference, yeah, and Christy has. And that's going to be the answer that we're going to dig into right now. So, hey, Christy, welcome for joining our community tonight.
I'm glad to be here.
Well, I want everyone to realize that you were part of a documentary called They Call Him Mostly Harmless. And that's really an incredible story of online sleuths who you guys spent over a couple of years trying to identify a hiker found in the Florida Everglades in 2018.
It took us a total of about 6 months till I got the email with his photo.
Because there was no ID, no phone, no credit cards, just notebooks filled with code and his trail name, right?
Right, and $3,700 in cash.
And that's all they had about him. There was a documentary that was put out. So if you want to catch that, look it up um, because it really shows how everyday people can make change. Hey, Barbara Hale, glad you're here. Sorry, Barb. Um, because why society loves to dismiss the online sleuths. They think, oh, morbid curiosity seekers or armchair detectives, they're playing games. But that's not what this is about. Um, Christie and like many others, they're advocates. They don't do it for riches. They do it because they have empathy for these people, for the families, for the victims. They're giving their time, their skills, and their hearts because it takes a piece of you. Um, and these are people they've never met. They don't know them, you know? So after you get done with this case, how did you hear about the Vandy Doe case?
We were having problems with the Mostly Harmless case, and we needed to take a break. I have a person in the group that she lived in the Nashville area, and she actually first posted it back when we were in the middle of Mostly Harmless,
Okay.
2023, and it never took at all. And then the documentary hit and all the people came in and it got brought back up again. And there was
Okay.
and there was interest and people were going, well, this seems like an easy case to solve. No. No.
It just didn't happen that way.
No. A year later, I'm still beating my head against a brick wall.
and I can see where people would think that. Oh, therapist you know's here, but she's sick. Get
Oh,
back to bed. You'll feel better, darling. Because this case has haunted Nashville for what, 6 years, right? Because it happened in 28, another one in 2018. That must be your year.
It must be.
Um,
And it
Go
has
ahead.
haunted for a while. Most people, to be honest with you, I kind of come across Nashville people from time to time, and I go, well, have you heard about Vandy Jane Doe? And that's kind of my MO. I will sit there and ask, and they go, who? And I show them the picture, and they go, we haven't seen it. I'm like, what?
Wow.
We have that problem with Mostly Harmless. Unidentified
Okay.
unidentified cases don't get enough coverage. They don't get a lot of coverage, and they also have a tendency to be state locked.
Okay.
For Vandy, for example, really a lot of the coverage that I'm finding, Nashville saw.
Wow.
When we were doing Mostly Harmless, we were talking to people in Florida, in Collier County, and we go, well, have you heard about this? No. It just doesn't get the coverage it needs to get it out there. And that's basically once law enforcement goes through the evidence that they have, public pressure and pushing flyers in the media, that's all they've got. And it's
Right.
hope, prayer, cross your fingers and hope the right person sees it. It's a lightning strike, basically.
Okay. Well, let's paint the picture because, like I told everyone, it was on September 8th at 2018. It was early morning, Sulphur Creek Road in Nashville, Tennessee, the 4400 block. Now, this road winds around, you guys. It's kind of a country road. There are houses on it. They all have a little bit of land, not, a little bit of acreage there, but someone's driving, they see something suspicious, they're not sure what, because actually the location that they show on the map for 4400 Sulphur Creek, it's not that far from a house. But where they found Vandy was over on the other side because they said it was kind of down in a ditch or a culvert.
Yeah,
And so
culprit.
the other side of the road, it was more down where the other was kind of up. So it had to be the opposite side of where the house is. Um, so they stop, they discover the body, and of
Mm,
course, immediately they call for help because
Actually,
that's shocking.
oh, it's more shocking than you think. The
Yeah.
the couple that found her, they were driving down the road kind of slowly, going down the road. They see this large bird in the road, and it was carrying a human skull.
Yeah.
It was
Yikes.
her.
I'll let you say that. I was
That
trying to be
is- wow.
I was trying to
Yeah.
be diplomatic.
I hate
So
to put
you
it
could
that way, but in this case, it is what
Yeah.
it is.
No, you're
And if that,
right.
it is what
And
it is. And
can you imagine? You're driving along and no wonder they were surprised. It was like, is that you know,
Is that
you
what I
wouldn't
think it
believe it.
is?
It's
You
like-
know, you just
it's like it's never a mannequin, and it's
Yep.
never
That's
a
one
bag
of our
of trash.
taglines.
no.
That's one of our biggest taglines. It's never a mannequin.
It is never a mannequin. And they stopped,
Yeah.
and they saw the bird with the skull, and they called law enforcement.
Awesome. Awesome. Um, and so I know I heard the detective speaking. Um, they said that he said that he thought there was some branches,
There was
over her.
there was stuff over her. Branches,
Right.
vegetation had been pushed over her. It
Right.
appeared.
It appeared.
Basically, yeah, it appeared. And of
Right.
course, not knowing how long she's been out there, you don't know if it was actually pushed over her, because during that time period, there was a lot of bad weather going on. You don't know
Right.
how much.
Well, they did have a couple of clues
Yes.
because um, Matthew Filter is the detective on the case.
Yeah.
And he said that on September 1st, they had mowed that road. And he said if they had mowed it with her body there, they would have seen it.
Yeah.
So that means it had to be placed September
Probably
1st after the mowing.
at some
So it
point.
could have
Yeah.
been that night,
That would be most likely, yes.
you know. Now, I did read that night there was a game that night. So there was a sporting event.
It was
There was
the season opener between Vanderbilt and Middle Tennessee. Vanderbilt won.
right. Also, I checked the temperatures, and they ranged from the 90s up to 93, 80. The first 5 days of September, they said were hot and humid.
Exactly.
So that would explain the condition of the body, because if she laid
Agreed.
there till the 8th, that's why she had decomposed.
And
Okay.
also, we've done some research into vulture activity,
Okay.
because most likely it was a large bird that was dragging her skull into the road.
Mhm.
So
Right.
it's either a black vulture or a turkey vulture, one of the two. One of
Okay.
them, the turkey vulture has better eyesight, and the black vulture has the better sense of smell. So they
Okay.
would have been there, and we can just leave it at that.
Right. And so when we stop and think about it, she was probably placed there September 1st, maybe that night or something, and then was found September 8th. So truthfully, she wasn't out there as long as some bodies get left out.
Yes.
She
She was out there,
found
worst case scenario, maybe a week.
right. So there was, due to the conditions, the heat, advanced decomposition.
Exactly.
Because of all those elements that we've just discussed. Now, she was dressed in head to toe,
Vanderbilt
Vanderbilt
logo.
wear.
Yes.
Right. She had on the black Under Armour pullover hoodie that had Vandy stitched under the logo.
Right.
Then
Yes.
and so they
Very
have the white
great.
Vanderbilt V inside with gold stars, right?
Right. They're actually very rare. We have found that those leggings were actually a limited edition and sold at the Vanderbilt store.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay, excellent. Awesome. So then they said she had a black, um, let's see, they called it a running hip belt with a zipper. Now, I ran a little bit. I'd never heard of this, but they explained that it was a belt that you put around your sweats so that you could put maybe a key, maybe something small tucked in there, so that
Key
when you're
ID.
out,
Yeah.
yeah, ID. So when you're out running, you don't have things that are moving or you lose things. It's kind of form fitting. It hugs you, right?
Basically, it's kind of like basically a fanny pack,
Yeah.
so to speak.
That's
Okay.
kind of what it looks like, yes.
And so that's snugly around the waist. They said there were zippered pockets, but there was nothing in them.
Right.
Okay. So they also said she was wearing a sports bra. Well, they never mentioned the bag, but there was this bag with her, right?
Bag?
Yeah, they have pictures of this bag. It's on the screen right
But
now.
That's the
that's a sports bra.
Well,
That's
that's
a
the sports
Lululemon.
bra. Okay.
That's a
That's the
Lululemon sports bra. Yes.
A Lululemon. Okay, well that's expensive. We know that.
Her outfit totaled out at about $300.
Okay. That's a little bit of dough, people.
I mean, I obviously don't want to get ahead of, what's coming, because
Jump in, boo.
I don't know what's coming.
I never tell him.
But has it been already investigated that she may have actually been an attendee enrolled at Vandy?
Yes. When she was found, this was a couple of weeks after move-in.
Okay.
So they went, her being dressed in Vanderbilt gear, they immediately went to the school. They checked students, they checked staff, they went as far as checking contracted staff. Nobody was missing. Everyone was
Really?
accounted for.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Well, yeah. But I'm surprised with all of that that she was wearing, that that she was just a fan. I mean.
Well,
Well,
I think we've seen
don't-
how crazy some football fans can get in general.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
you said it was game night.
As far as we know,
September 1st was.
Yeah.
September the 1st was game night.
Okay.
Now, that was when she was not there. We don't know, of course, exactly when she would have gone off the radar, because her clothing doesn't match the weather. Who's
Yeah.
going out in 93 degree weather dressed in a sweatshirt?
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
a little bit warm.
Yeah.
Nobody is going out in that, most
Yeah.
likely. So it becomes, when did she exactly go off the radar? Instead of when did she show up there? Because doors can open if we can guess when that would have happened.
Right.
Okay.
And so she has the green and black leopard sports bra,
Mhm.
but she also had a black undershirt
Right.
above the bra and under the jacket. So you're right, because it was like 93 that night on September 1st. That would have been hot.
It would have
Unless you
been
don't.
hot. It would have been miserable.
Yeah. And she had white socks on,
Mhm.
no shoes, you guys. No shoes. And so that's kind of like, no shoes. And they don't, I'm not trying to be crass. They don't mention underwear.
As far as we know, she was wearing no underwear.
Which to me, with my sweats, that's not going to happen. People, it might not be a problem.
And with girls, with women, and some women just do not wear underwear with leggings because they
Yeah.
don't want a panty line. That's simple.
Yeah. True. Yeah. That's a good point. I like that point.
Okay.
And then there was this necklace,
The
this
necklace is
chain that she had.
The necklace is complicated.
Okay.
Okay. When they found the necklace, when they found the chain, that was all they found. The charm was gone.
Okay.
The
And
assumption,
that's what the charm would have looked like, you guys.
that's what they think.
Yeah.
We kind of went down this road for a while, and
Okay.
we confirmed with the detective. They do not, there is no way that they know that she was wearing a Vandy necklace. It was assumed because of the way she was dressed, but we don't know for sure.
Right.
We did some checking with that chain alone. It's very typically shown in jewelry making, which basically it's a replacement chain. You can go to walmart.com and look around at the necklaces, and you can find a very cheap necklace with that chain. It's common.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. So, and see, this is the thing about the Doe cases, you guys. It's good to talk to other people because if some people have gone down some of these roads, then you don't focus all your time on it. So something that you might think, "Ooh, this is really important," and they've gone, "Hey, we've kind of already done that one and it didn't go nowhere." So then, unless you've got another great idea, which, hey, this is an open discussion. You got ideas, throw them out there. And Fala, make sure that you let Doc know if there's, if you guys have a good idea, put like a big question mark or something before your comment. Um, oh, Chris had a good. He said, could she have been part of a dance team? Uh, I don't know.
We've questioned that. The only dance team that we can physically find is related to the school. A lot of people
Okay.
have looked at the clothes and said, is it a dance team? That is something typical that a dance team would wear. We just can't find a dance team that would work. And logically, she's wearing Vanderbilt clothing.
Right.
It would be Vanderbilt. We've seen pictures of 7-year-olds wearing those leggings.
Okay.
So we know they were a limited edition sold at the store, but nobody seems to have them. We found one listing.
Okay.
We found one listing on Poshmark, someone that had them, and that was it.
Okay. So she could have got him secondhand. It's a possibility. You can't rule it totally out.
We can't rule it out completely. We have
Right.
talked. I have several locals in the group, and we've talked to other locals, and a lot
Mhm.
of them say that the Vanderbilt gear doesn't really show up in secondhand.
Okay. And that kind of makes sense because you would think that kind of stuff you wear it till it's gone or you pass it to someone. Now,
Exactly.
I suppose it could be a situation if she was visiting and they were going to go to a game or something and someone says, I don't have anything. And maybe someone loaned her some stuff.
That's always possible, but my logic with that is if she was visiting with someone, where's the friend missing the $300 outfit?
Yeah. Beside missing your friend.
Exactly.
But
Friend or
here's
not,
one.
missing the friend is one thing, but having a $300 outfit that's yours, your friend borrowed it, you haven't heard from her.
Yeah.
What do? You're going to go looking for her.
Yeah, you're
It,
right. Because
it,
even if she had gone off with, let's say, some dude she met and said, "I'll see you, tomorrow," or whatever, like you said, the friend would be going, "Hey, don't forget to bring my clothes home."
exactly.
You know, beside you would be missing your friend. Now,
Exactly.
I did wonder if perhaps there is any chance that she could have somehow been connected to any of the players. Like if someone didn't report a missing girlfriend. Maybe it was
It's
someone
always
new that they were dating, you
that's
know?
all. We've looked at pictures from that game. Some of them have gone to the roster for that year and looked around for photos of them to see if there was a girlfriend. Nothing has popped up.
Yeah. So, I mean, and if anyone's in that community, that might be a question to ask a few people. Did anyone show up with a girlfriend and then all of a sudden they stopped dating and there was never any, oh, well, they broke up or, whatever. So, I mean, that's a question to ask. Because right now, what we have is questions. Hey, take it to trials here, and so is OnlyFan.
Just I,
Yay.
I was I was just
And Keith's
curious to
S.
know
Yeah.
how when someone is like a doe like that, how is we obviously the police have done an investigation into like missing persons reports.
Correct.
Okay. So they've come up with nothing?
Nothing. She was put into the Nameless system
Yeah.
and her DNA was processed.
Yes.
For Nameless, when they process it, they also get a CODIS qualifying profile to put her into CODIS as well to see if either place something's going to hit. Vandy right now has over 50 rule outs.
Yes. And that's a lot. But that's good because those are people that you can exclude.
I love rule outs.
Yeah. Because
Because
then you can move on.
that says it's not her. Great, groovy. Let's go.
Yeah.
We've got other people to look at.
And
Okay.
and let's explain to everybody, when they first found Vandy, they thought that she was either Black or Hispanic, okay? But after 2022, they
Exhumed.
exhumed. All of a sudden, the word would not come to me. They exhumed her, and they did the DNA testing, and they found out that she pretty much is 50% Black and 50% Italian. Okay? So that would be a great way to rule out a lot of people, because I remember when you and I talked about it the first time, it was like, "My goodness, she looks like Tika Lewis grown up." But there's no Chippewa native in her.
Well,
So
those are the results that have been released.
right.
And they come with a lot of issues because
Okay.
there are now 2 sketches of her.
Yes.
One of them that looks very African American and one of them that doesn't.
Yeah.
With that, only about, if I remember correctly, because it's been a bit, it's not a high percentage of the population that is Black and Italian.
Yeah.
The problem is you do not know where their genetic lottery is going to fall.
Exactly.
So it becomes, especially in Vandy's case, extremely difficult because she was so decomposed.
Right.
And then you also have to take into account she may not have known she was Black and Italian. If we're dealing with someone who was, let's say, adopted,
Yeah.
or that part of the family is estranged from the rest of the family, she may not have known she was Black and Italian and identified as African American.
Very true. Because there are a lot of people that don't have their heritage or haven't done like a DNA genealogy thing. So they might not know what their background is. Um,
And in cases of adoption, it's not uncommon that they don't know. So it becomes a bit question mark. She was so decomposed that they could not say yes or no to her having a tattoo.
okay.
Normally during
Yeah.
decomposition, you can see a tattoo. Even if
Right.
it's just like a great big blob, you may not be able to tell it's there or what it was, but you know it's a tattoo.
Yeah.
We don't even
And yeah, and Katrina, that's a good point. Most Italians have huge families that are close. And that's true if she knew she was Italian. But it could be a situation that was she even, because the father was the paternal side was the Italian side,
We think.
is what I read. And then the black was the maternal side. So if that's the case, she could have been raised without her father, or did her father even know she existed?
Exactly.
We don't know. So
From
that could
our
be why maybe an Italian family isn't out there looking for her, because they don't even know about her.
from our understanding, people, and let me say this, if you're doing things like this, do not ever contact families,
No.
because you may be telling them things they don't need to know, and you may be giving death notices that you don't need to be giving. That's law enforcement's job.
Good wisdom there. We
People
will someone go
People
ahead.
online have actually contacted the Italian side of the family.
Oh,
And
Lord.
yes, nobody knows her.
Okay. Okay. And someone had mentioned the drugs. She was found with drugs in her system.
Mhm.
It was, let's see. Oh, I
Cocaine and
had it some. But yeah, they thought, what was it? Cocaine and morphine,
Mhm.
which is kind of a strange when I keep wanting to call him doctor, when Detective Filter was interviewed, he made the comment that kind of was a different combination. Mostly he said they saw a lot of opiate. Yeah, GFL. Yeah, it's a speedball. So you have to ask yourself, because nothing is said if she was a chronic user. Could it be something, you're out at a party, someone gives you a speedball, something happens to you, they don't know what to do,
The
and
other
they just
the other problem is, and this is an interesting fact, you can be given cocaine and morphine an hour apart, and it will still act like a speedball.
okay.
Okay.
And that's good to know. We also know that if there are we're not saying she was trafficked, not saying that, but we just know that traffickers will use drugs to control women. We know students will experiment if she had been a student at one time, because it could be a situation. Maybe she graduated the year before but stuck around the area, or you know, because what is her age range?
Well, we've had 4 different age ranges.
Right.
When we first started a year ago, it was 15 to 25. Then it changed to 21 to 35. Then it changed to 21 to 40. And then it changed finally to 16 to 35.
Right.
We've pretty much checked her against every African American looking girl missing from 2016 to 2018 that would have fit her age range.
Okay. Here was something I was thinking about, because they did make the comment that that the family, she had family ties on the paternal side in Texas, Louisiana, and Georgia.
Mhm.
And my thought was, let's say she was from Louisiana. Katrina hit in 2005, and a lot of people moved. She would have been a young child. So if they moved, family that stayed might not realize she's missing.
Well, that actually is a very good point. I know
Because what's the youngest age? They're saying she was 21, so you take 13 from that. She would have been 8. She would have moved as an 8-year-old.
because right now they're saying the youngest age is 16, and in the original age range it was 15.
So she would have been like 3 years old if they would have moved at Katrina. So
Exactly.
they wouldn't even know what she looked like, perhaps, as an adult.
Possibly, yes.
I mean, that's just because I lived in Baton Rouge when Katrina hit.
Exactly.
So it just kind of made me think, because we saw a lot of people leave, and they went to Texas, they went to Mississippi,
They
they
also
went
went
on up north.
Alabama.
Yeah.
So
that was That was why at this point, we have for a year been sending out flyers to all the states that are listed and gotten
Okay.
nowhere. I have gotten reports of a few people seeing it and a few people seeing it. At this point, the states aren't important in my opinion. We
Okay.
haven't gotten anywhere. So
Okay.
at this point, she needs to be globally famous.
Okay. And hey, I agree. I'm just,
No, but
as your brain goes,
that's a very good point. That if she was from Louisiana, she could have been a Katrina victim. And that is
yeah.
actually, it's plausible.
Well, and even if she was in Mississippi, because Biloxi got
Mm,
devastated too.
exactly.
So either Mississippi or Louisiana, she could have gone, you know. And if she was a small child at the time, and then, families unfortunately get disconnected, maybe
Exactly.
nobody in the family even knows she's missing.
We coined the term being missing but not missed.
Okay.
I kind of figured that out. We kind of coined that with Vance, and it fits for someone who's not reported.
Yeah.
They're missing from a family's life, but most families don't want to admit to themselves that something may have gone wrong with their loved one. They think they're off living their best life, or they're ignoring them for whatever
Right.
reason. And you're dealing with
Yeah. And that,
a girl that had drug issues of some sort.
yeah.
So that can lead to, we'll just call it flaky behavior.
Yeah.
And it
Because
also,
we don't know, they don't say if the drug issue was like a continuous issue
that's hard to
or,
tell.
unless they did DNA on the hair, or there would be
Right,
no way to tell how often she had abused drugs, because there are those people that can do it socially. Um,
exactly.
you know.
And the problem is with her hair, the way she was found, it was trashed.
Okay.
And that makes
Yeah.
it, if she
About
had,
about about the only thing the detective said they could rule out was a hit and run. That was
exactly,
it.
bones. There was nothing at the scene that pointed to a hit and run, and she had no broken bones at all.
Yeah. So that is the only thing that is ruled out of this case.
Exactly.
Um, and it's interesting, the picture up on the screen right now, you guys, that is Sulphur Road. And as you see, it twists and it turns, and it's just a two-lane road. And it goes between Old Hickory, and then at the other end is Eaton Road or Eaton Creek. And they said the only people that really take this road are people that either live on it or locals. They said sometimes locals will use it as a shortcut, even though really it's not a shortcut, because that thing twists and turn. It's like being back in Louisiana, honey, because they do the roads, they follow the bayous. Sometimes I think whoever laid out some of those roads was drunk at the time and just said, "Hey, let's go this way," because the roads aren't straight. So you can see where the red dot is. That's where she was found. So she was up by Sulphur Creek, but she was up closer to Old Hickory. So it was either someone that knew the area, maybe had a friend that used to live there, or someone that knew about this road, I would think, And then
It
it could be someone that's just wandering around trying to get rid of a body.
was definitely a local.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, we can say for sure.
yeah. And they just feel like, she was dumped, and they forgot to bring her shoes. So, you think to yourself, where did those shoes go?
Her shoes are interesting. I mean, I tried to tell them that she could have been in somebody's house with her shoes off.
Yeah.
We also were able to, one of my members actually located a pair of Vanderbilt logo shoes that you can have custom made with your name on them.
Oh,
So they may have been taken and disposed of for that reason.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah. I never even thought of that.
I mean, I
That
hate to,
that
somebody could have stolen the shoes off her feet.
true.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's hard to tell. And it
exactly.
could be, hey, as they were driving, he could have thrown the shoes out, you know,
5 miles,
disposed of the body, all of a sudden saw the shoes and, oh, and dumped them somewhere else.
exactly. And that's even been a thought with the charm because it had a V on it that maybe someone had something engraved on it and they ripped it off, or in disposing her,
Right.
it broke off, or she got in a fight with someone and it got torn off.
Yeah. I know the detective made the comment that they did check into the Vice, Lords, gang because they do like to wear the Vanderbilt gear because of the V, because they're called the Vice Lords. But they got nowhere with that either.
Neither did I.
So,
I talked to someone who actually knew a few of the vice lords, and he said that they would put out the photo at least to see possibly if it got anywhere. It didn't.
okay. And because of how badly she was, the cause and manner can't be determined. They have no idea how she died. They do know, though, somebody had something to do with it because she didn't end up there by herself. Somebody put her there and put things on top of her. So there is somebody else involved. We don't know, could she have had an overdose and somebody didn't know what to do and just got rid of her? Um, did they harm her? We just don't know. That's part of the problem,
Mhm.
you
That's
know?
that's the biggest part of the problem. That they are treating the case as a homicide because they simply don't
Yeah.
know to
Yeah.
preserve the.
I love this, you guys, this detective, he needs an award because I was listening to him on a podcast and he said, "Every case should be treated as a homicide." He said, "Because you want to preserve your evidence." He said, "If you don't treat it as a homicide and then later decide it is, you lose your evidence." And I was just like, "Dude, please, can you, like, go to every police station and tell them this?" He said, "Because evidence can be, staged, a scene can be staged, it doesn't always appear what you might think it appears. So please, he's in the firm corner that you have to, treat it as a homicide first thing out because if you don't need it and it turns out it is something else, fine, but you have your evidence." And I like this detective.
There are way too many investigators that jump the gun and say that there's no foul play here. Well, do they really know that, or do
Yeah.
they need to do better investigation before saying that there's no foul play? So
Yeah,
I don't think
exactly.
I don't think they should declare it anything until the autopsy's done and the toxicology's back.
hmm, yeah.
Yeah, undetermined. That's why they have undetermined
And
as an
Exactly.
option.
until then, you process the scene.
But
As
you
a
process it like a
Yeah,
homicide so that you're making sure you collect everything, you
exactly.
know?
And that's the biggest thing. You have to have the evidence. If you do not have that, you're in trouble from the start. There's so many cases that can't be solved because the evidence wasn't preserved.
Right. And so I think that's really important. So the big takeaways is we know someone dumped her, someone put her where she was located. That's not where she passed, she didn't die there. They put her there. It was not voluntary. Um, Somebody knows what happened because they took the time to take her out there and then
Mm.
they tried to cover it up. We know that she wasn't put there before September 1st because, like he said, people mowed. He said they would have seen her. So, those are some really important clues you have from September 1st to September 8th when she was located. We know it was warm, it was humid, that's why she was in the condition she was in. Um, so there's a lot of stuff there to look at, and then her clothing. Yes, there is a possibility she borrowed it from someone, but like Christy said, and that makes sense. If you borrowed that expensive of an outfit, your friend's gonna come looking for you. They're gonna want their clothes back. That's just I'm sorry. That doesn't make sense. And she's right about that. You know?
Three hundred
Um,
dollars worth of clothing. Yeah.
yeah.
I know I would.
Yep.
Well, and I know one thing, if I was loaning out anything, I would expect someone to put underwear on. I'm sorry, that still bugs me.
Well, and there's a thought that nobody really brings up. It could be that the leggings were hers, but the
That's
sweatshirt
true.
wasn't.
That's a good thought. Yeah, she could have had some of the pieces and not all of them, and somebody loaned. You'd think they would still. You would think someone would still be saying, "Hey, my friend disappeared." Something. Why is nobody missing this girl? That is the big key. Why is nobody missing her?
And that's probably one of the bigger issues is that, everybody knows somebody, and
Yeah,
how many people disappear and absolutely no one, zero, knows anything about what they were doing or could shed some light on like if I had somebody that disappeared from work, it's just follow up on it.
yeah,
It,
that's true. You would think. Well, I mean, I know definitely my Amazon driver would miss me.
yeah,
Um,
obviously.
I mean, come on, someone has to know something.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so like Christy said, those were the states that they kind of have mentioned. Um,
And
the
they
the
and they
paternal
came
side, but that's not. It doesn't mean that's where she lived.
exactly. Those states came from forensic genealogy that has been going for 2 years and gotten nowhere.
Wow.
Yeah, has gotten nowhere.
Hmm.
And that's how we have a list. We also have a list of surnames,
Yeah.
but you don't know how far back. And to be honest with you, some of the surnames are Butler, Moore, and Hayes.
Yeah.
There's honestly Smith. There's some of the more common names, so it becomes difficult there. That's why people started leaning on the Italian side because
Right.
they're unusual.
Exactly. Well, funny, Hayes was actually one of the ones on the Italian side, and I was like, "Really?"
I
You
have a
know? That
uh,
What's that?
I have a feeling that her family tree is huge.
Yeah.
So they may interconnect quite a lot.
Okay.
Yes, those are the two sketches. The African American sketch was the original sketch when they thought she was Black and Hispanic.
Right.
And then the one to the right, if you're looking at it, that is the newest sketch. They're still very similar in facial structure. They've just made it look more Italian.
Yeah.
The problem that they have is we have no idea of skin tone. We have no idea of
Yeah.
anything besides the sketches.
Yeah. And so that, I mean, that's something, because it does. It looks like two different people. I
Exactly.
mean, except for the hairstyle that they put on, you wouldn't think that was the same person.
And let's clarify something on the hairstyle because a lot of people get twisted up in that.
Oh,
If they have no idea of a hairstyle, which they wouldn't have with her,
right,
they are going to put what the current trendy hairstyle of the time is.
right.
I have someone actually who has done a TikTok where they have gone to AI and done an AI sketch of her and changed her hair in the hopes that it would trigger something, anything at this point.
Yeah. Well, and another thing for everybody to remember, Vanderbilt also has a big hospital there that is a trauma one center and has over like 3 million visitors in the different medical facilities throughout the city. So could it have been somebody visiting somebody, you know, in a medical center? It's hard to tell because that between the medical center and the college, they employ a lot of people.
Well, bringing that up, my theory is because
Uh-huh.
Vanderbilt is a top 5 school,
Right.
but it's not really known for its sports. It's known for its academics.
Mhm.
And the sports that it's known for are baseball and track,
Okay.
is what I've been told by people who have gone there. This could even be, she could be a child of an alumni at some point or someone that worked there.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt seems to have a history of families. It's same families
Okay.
go. So she could have been alumni family. She could have been family of an employee there, and she grew up with Vanderbilt in her life. So
Right.
I feel like she knew about Vanderbilt sports.
Yeah.
But what gets me the most is that uh she is not missed, by anybody. That I I can't hardly wrap my head around the fact that she, somebody somewhere has to be missing this girl. You know,
Missing, but she's not missed.
right?
I go
Yeah.
this is where my theories on that come in. If you're missing but not missed, this is why I point to that she's older. Someone who's just out on their own, 18, 19, 20, you're calling mom and going, Mom, how do I boil an egg?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sink's clogged. What do I do? So it points to she's older, she's more self sufficient, and does well on her own. They're not expecting a phone call from her.
Well, it also could point to someone that was in care.
That's
Maybe
possible.
she wasn't raised with her family. So
That
that's why there is nobody looking for her.
well, and this is a theory that keeps coming up, and I've kind of explained why I don't think that's a possibility.
Okay, what's the explanation? I'd love to know.
Okay, if she
Uh-huh.
disappeared, if she was in care up to age
Okay.
18, and she
Right.
disappeared any time during that time, foster parents have to report them or it's a crime. At this point, we're dealing with 6, almost 7 years out. Someone would have caught it, and that foster family would have had to answer for where is she.
Well, not if she was 18 and she was of age and she
But then
left.
the problem is then her being a foster child wouldn't matter. If she hit 18 or above,
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't there be some kind of exit, like an exit interview from being in foster care?
No.
You're
no, they
You're
just
no,
pretty much, "Here's the door. It was nice knowing you."
Exactly.
Really?
She was
And
over.
see, that's why I kind of wonder about her being in care and that she reached the age, the mature age, and she was left out there. And that's why nobody would look for her because she didn't have familiar connections.
Boy, that
Because
really
if she didn't
doesn't
stay,
leave much of a
Absolutely.
paper trail, does it?
if
No,
you
it
don't
doesn't.
stay close to the family,
No, it doesn't.
so
Now,
unless your friends are looking for you,
exactly. If she's over 18, she is most likely over the age of 18. My personal theory is she's anywhere from 25 to 35.
okay,
I think she's down in that range, even as young as 20 to 35. Her friends would be looking for her. If she's a foster child that aged out of the system, the best you could do is send a flyer to the foster care and hope that somebody would
yeah,
notice her. But foster, we'll just say human services in general is so overloaded as it is.
yeah.
In all reality, they're not going to remember. If this was a
Well, and
child that
you
they
also
put
don't know if she was in care
at all,
in Nashville. She could have been in care in Louisiana. She could have been in care in Georgia, in any of these
well,
southern states.
well, the thing is, her genealogy goes back to the 1800s in the Deep South. More than likely, she's going to
Yeah,
be from the Deep South.
right.
So it narrows the field. And that's what my goal is always. I want to start at a general big piece of the pie, and I want to slowly eat my way at it. In the end, if I send a flyer to Georgia, Mississippi, Texas, Tennessee, and Louisiana, and they all circulate it, there's going to be a lot of eyes on that flyer and on
Yeah,
that. Somebody's going to may go, oh,
yeah,
she's familiar, and they may twist in their head and they may think about it and share the flyer with other people. That's the thing. People have to see her face.
yeah,
Genealogy has gotten nowhere.
yeah.
It's given us a road to go down, but nowhere.
Right. In Florida, if there was an affair, a baby, and the mom died young, that's always a possibility.
It
Um,
exactly. That she was
because the
basically
paternal side might not have a clue she even existed.
exactly. If she was an, as I call it, an oops baby,
Yeah,
nobody may know about her.
yeah,
If mom is alive and she was adopted because she was an oops baby, dad
yes,
wouldn't know, and if she was adopted to someone else, that makes it even more complicated.
yeah. And in Charlotte, yeah, a lot of kids do get lost in the foster system. And kids run away. Kids run away from the foster system because
The
they
problem
can't take it anymore.
the
You
problem
know?
comes in if she's over 18, she's not in the foster system anymore.
Yeah, yeah,
The young the younger the younger you want her to be, and I don't mean to put it
yeah,
that way, you know what I mean. The younger
yeah.
the more likely she is to be reported.
Well, what I'm thinking though is not that she's that young, but that could have been her origin where she came from. And so as she got older, that's why she doesn't have like this connection of people,
Right.
family
Yeah.
that are
I,
looking for her,
I get that completely. The problem with
you
that
know?
that becomes a very large dead end, because if she was over 18, took out of the foster care system, there's nothing really you can do with that except send a flyer to different
Yeah,
foster care systems and circulate it.
yeah,
They're not
keep
going to
getting
give
her face out.
and get her face out there, because you're not going to find a foster family not without a miracle. It's it
Yeah,
becomes a twisted thing, because if you're thinking she's under 18, she's more than likely reported, because
yes,
a foster parent would get into serious trouble for that. We had one here in Virginia that went missing, is still missing, Brittany Williams, and they arrested her and she went to jail for several years, because by the grace of God, they caught that she was missing.
Yeah. That, and that's true.
Yeah.
Um, and so, and that's what we can hope for. And we say her friends should be looking for her. Let's say by accident she had an overdose. Maybe the friends, they were just having a good time, something happened, and then they got scared. But eventually you would think somebody would talk, because usually if somebody like that, something happens, eventually someone's gonna talk in the group.
Well,
Someone's gonna say if there's more than one person involved.
the way she was disposed of points to it was someone that knew her and knew her reasonably well. They had some kind of attachment to her because they put
Yeah.
her in that brush. They covered her, put her in the ditch, covered her, and hid her. Her body was somewhat protected.
Okay.
The longer that a killer spends with their victim, the closer the relationship.
Yeah, that's true.
So it becomes, if she had, for example, been buried, you would more go, this is family kind of thing. And they knew her really, really well. But where she was found, this is somebody that knew her.
Right.
And they knew her reasonably well. I would say maybe a boyfriend, maybe a roommate, maybe a friend. A roommate is a good
Right.
idea, is a thought, because if the roommate, if something happened and she died with the roommate and the roommate was responsible, who's going to report her?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing is too, they couldn't tell if there was a sexual assault because she was too decomposed.
Exactly.
So that, there's so much that we can't get the information. Um,
They cannot even tell us what size the clothes were because the clothes were trashed from decomposition.
oh wow. So really the best thing is just getting her face out there. Everybody needs to get this on your social media, get her face out there, flood it, and maybe somebody will get a recollection of, I haven't heard from my friend, or I remember that girl that dated so and so, or remember our second cousin, something, because somebody knows her. They just don't, like you said, she's missing, but not missed.
My belief is she's local. Not
Okay.
not necessarily Nashville per se even, but
Okay.
there's Murfreesboro, there's Lebanon, there's Mount Juliet. All the surrounding counties in that area really need to be just flooded and talk to people
No,
and
that's a
let
good
them know. Show them if you have friends in the area, call them, show them the flyer, show them her sketch, show them any of her sketches. There's one sketch that we did with AI that kind of merged even the two sketches together.
Yeah, I think we showed that on
Yes.
that, it's kind of a yellow flyer. That was one of the first ones we showed, that it showed
Yeah.
both of the sketches and then the one that's merged. Um, and you can find that on Christie's Facebook page. And it is a really good sketch. And her Facebook page is called Unidentified, Nameless, and Never Forgotten. So
Add
you
me.
can go over there and get the flyer,
You can even
because
add
it
me to book.
yeah. So, think about that, guys, because she needs to be found, or she needs to be identified. She needs her name back. I mean, that's only right. She deserves to be put to rest, um, and recognized by her name, and that's what's important, is getting this out there. And advocates, they do what they can. I mean, this is John Does are some of the hardest cases because you don't have a lot to go on. Christie says you got to think outside the box. Now, you don't go into the twilight zone. You do have to follow some rules, such as if someone's a certain age when they disappear, you can't all of a sudden expect someone disappeared at 8 years old and then you think that they're 13, but they've been missing for 15 years. You got to
have
use some logic. You got to follow the story. So,
that
you
that
know,
and that's a big thing when you have a missing person and a John or Jane Doe. You have to look at the stories and see if the stories even work.
yeah.
Plausible. The first detective I talked to during Mostly Harmless's case, we had a possible, and the guy had been missing for 8 years. And this is before I knew anything. And his first question to me was, okay, where's he been for the last 8 years? How has
Yeah.
he been living with no ID and nothing for the last 8 years and no one know who he is? It's why I teach. Well, I've just started trying to teach Occam's razor. The simplest answer is always the truth. It's not, as I said, it's not the movie Taken.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
It-
exactly. And it rarely is. And,
You
and
have
that's something I want everyone to realize when you're doing these John Doe or the Doe cases, don't be afraid to ask questions. If you don't know, that's okay. This is how we all learn. We learn from others' experiences if they've been doing it longer. And no question is a dumb question if you're very sincere. If you're sincere and you like, I want to help, because I think what Christie is trying to share with people is everybody, the normal person can have a part. It doesn't mean that we're morbid or we're thrill seekers. We just want to help our communities. And that's what it's about. It's helping the victim's family. Nobody's getting famous. Nobody's getting rich doing this. This is people that take their time that they have and they're just trying to help humanity. And that's what we need to see more of today because we have a lot of ugliness in this world right now. We
Amen.
need more of people just looking out for each other. Um, Sometimes we rub each other the wrong way, and that's okay too. Sometimes you need to take a break from each other. When you work
Charlotte
these,
Metz brings out it would be helpful to have the true rule outs. Don't we have a list?
have
yeah,
several lists.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
there.
I got some of them, and Christie had sent me a bunch. Here are some of the exclusions that I had started. And then Christie sent me 2 more pages or 3 pages. So there is a list. And maybe that's something on your page you
Oh,
can say, "Ooh, I hit a button.
yes, you did.
Whoops."
It's all right. I got it
Okay.
fixed already.
So maybe Christie can place those lists on her Facebook so everybody can go through them and say, "Okay, I can take these people off." And like Christie said, exclusions are the best, you guys, because that means that you're not wasting your time and you're not wasting, looking for something that doesn't need to be looked for because we all want the answer. We all want to find out what Vandy's name is. We want her to be able to be put to rest with her name. So it's okay. Um, Ask your questions. Look at the lists. Christie will be glad to put those lists up so you know who's been excluded.
If you
Because
post
there's no shame. Go ahead, Christie.
if you post the flyer, there is an email address that I have. I can
Okay.
answer questions or I will email you the lists.
Okay. There you go, people. Don't be afraid to do it. Get them out there. You
The
know,
other thing I'm going to say is do not always say Nameless is not, especially now, is not going to be the be all end all for rule outs, because law enforcement does not have to update
No.
rule out list. They don't have to do it.
There's not all the states even have to report to Nameless. It's optional.
Exactly.
So, Christy and I have both run into law enforcement, me up in Minneapolis, where a lieutenant said, "What's Nameless?"
I was
And
working on a case in Louisiana, and I had the assistant chief go, "What's Nameless?"
Assistant chief. Okay.
yeah, yeah. So
And what
there
was,
are they have their own,
exactly.
they have their own, I can't even think,
The basis lab.
yes.
I had to
So they
explain
have their,
too.
yeah. Well,
Sadly,
you had to
they're keeping themselves on an island instead of, broadcasting it, the way it should be.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, like I said, you guys, if you have questions, don't be afraid to ask Christy. Um, you know, she's a resource. She's done this before. She knows what she's talking about. Um, the more questions, Christy and I talked on the phone last night for 6 hours.
Yes.
We went,
Got my brain going on Ellen Greenberg. Oh my stars.
I know. We were going down as Doc would say, you guys, I was chasing squirrels and going down rabbit holes.
Yep.
But sometimes that's what we need to do.
Mhm.
And, take some of these cases, talk them out, get ideas. No idea is a bad idea when you're sincere. Like we said, follow the train of thought, follow the story. Don't try and put someone that you definitely know is not the person, because that's when people get frustrated with each other, because you want to answer all questions, but everybody has to be, reasonable. Don't bring your craziest theory that, Amelia Earhart was, it's her.
Vance Rodriguez was told to me before he was identified that he was a time traveler.
Oh, that's interesting.
And I just go, what?
There actually, you guys, was a show. Oh man, I can't even remember what year it was. It was called The Forgotten. It was a TV series for 1 year. It was Christopher, oh, Slater. And what it was they were finding John and Jane Does. And I think it just wasn't in the right time. Otherwise, that show would have been a hit. But I don't think as many people were looking back then for John and Jane Does. And it was just a group of normal people that were using the skills that they have, because you all have skills. You all have knowledge in different areas in your life. And so you bring that together. You ask the questions. If you know something, if you're in the healthcare field, you might have an insight other people don't. If you know things about, you know, cars, or, any kind of a field, if you're in the field of clothing, you might have more insight on where clothing is bought. Everything matters. So, um, let's go ahead and remember that, and go over to Christie's page. Make sure you share these pictures. Join the conversation. Ask questions if you have questions. You know, be
And
part of it.
the biggest thing that anybody can do besides sharing a flyer is getting a DNA test done through Ancestry and download to GEDmatch, Family Tree DNA, and DNA Justice.
Okay, you guys heard that.
Your DNA could help connect Vandy. It could help connect other cold cases, and it could help send someone home.
And that's important, you guys. So if you hadn't done that and you've been thinking about it, She's told you the places to do it. GEDmatch. What was the other? Ancestry.com.
You have to do the physical test has to be done at Ancestry.
Okay.
You go
Okay.
to Ancestry and you download the raw DNA data that you get, and then you go
Okay.
to GEDmatch and you upload it to GEDmatch. You do the same thing with Family Tree DNA and with DNA Justice.
Okay. So that's the process to do it. Um, you all can be part of this, and that's the wonderful thing. Um, I do have a Discord server that the girls and Cap have put out there. So, one of these days we'll schedule an event on the Discord server where we can sit and chat. And maybe we'll take Vandy's case and just because we have a voice channel in there, you can come on and we all just chat and share ideas. Um, I know one of my mods, we're trying to help her with the murder of her aunt. And so there are cases out there that sometimes you have to do the crowdsourcing. You sit and you chat about them, and maybe somebody comes up with a good idea that somebody didn't think of, and they can run with it. Very quickly before we end tonight, because on every show on Thursdays and Sundays, I show missing posters. Mostly my missing posters are always going to be Native and Indigenous people because they are the least likely um, to be shown and are the most likely to be missing or murdered. So um, that's why I choose. Sometimes we put other people in, because everybody matters. But these are the ones that really don't get shown. So let's go over these. I have 4 very quickly. Stay alert. You guys could save a life tonight. Check the faces out. When you're on public transport, transit, a bus, train, whatever, watch your surroundings, put the cell phone down. If you see something that looks hinky, contact the authorities and don't think someone else is going to do it. The cops aren't going to yell at you, just call them. Human trafficking and missing people's cases happen all the time. And sometimes people might leave voluntarily and then they get in danger and they can't get back home. So they need help. And even if they've left voluntarily, sometimes they just need that helping hand to get back home. So we've also set up an email. It's called tips, the number 4, Trial Junkies United at gmail.com. If you're scared to call the cops, we will send in your tip. But here we go. Our first one, this is Jason Hoskins. He's 35. Irish Amy, pay attention to this one. He is July 11th, 2025. He disappeared from Shawnee, Kansas. He's with the Kickapoo tribe. His eyes are light brown. His hair is brown. He's 5'8", weighs 180 pounds. Jason purchased a one-way ticket overseas and was known to be in London, England. That's why I called out my lovely mod, Irish Amy. His family last heard his voice on July 11th. He was having a mental health struggle before he disappeared. Now, his family has gotten messages from him, but not his, I must be texts. And they've not been able to confirm his location or provide anything about his whereabouts. So please, if you have any information, he has been reported missing here in the States and in the UK. Contact the Shawnee, Kansas Police Department at 913-631-2150 or London, England Police Department at 44-20-7230-1212. Kansas, the case number is 250-3393. London, the case number is C as in cat, A as in apple, D as in David, 7195. Or contact your local authorities if you think you have spotted Jason. Our next one is Jimmy Begay, and he's 62. He's been missing since October 10th from Farmington, New Mexico. He has brown hair or brown eyes, salt and pepper hair. He's 5'9", weighs 170 pounds. He was last seen wearing blue jeans, a bandana, a black shirt, and a backpack. He was last seen on South Monterey in Farmington. If you've got any information on Jimmy, please contact, they said, the non-emergency dispatch at 505-334-6622. The case number is 25-67947, or call your local police department. Then we have Linnea Bolin. She was 15, you guys. She went missing on October 31st from Topeka, Kansas at 2 a.m. She's 5'5". She weighs 160 pounds with black hair and brown eyes. Linnea was reported missing from running away from a group home. And so in Topeka, Kansas in the early morning hours. Oh no, she ran from her residence. It's the next girl that was at the group home. I'm sorry. And she left at 2 a.m. She's not been seen or heard from directly. And they don't know if perhaps she met some people on the internet, which we all know what that could mean. And so they don't know where she is. There has been recent activity on her phone. They think she could be in the Topeka area, Topeka, Kansas. And so if you see her, we've had other cases like this where they go off with someone they think they've met online and then it turns bad. So help her family because they're very worried about her. She's with the Prairie Band Potawatomi Nation. And so the tribal police there have the phone of 785-966-3024. And our last missing girl is Sonia Perico. She's 16. She's missing since May 31st from Santan Valley, Arizona. She left, it was Gansville around 11, or Combs in Gansville around 11:10 a.m. She left with 2 other girls who are also missing from the Gila River Indian community. She was last seen wearing a black shirt, gray pants, and she also had a pink backpack. She's only 5'4", 110 pounds, black hair, eyes are brown. If you have any information, please contact the authorities. And the number for the Gila River Police Department is 520-562-4511 or text 911 immediately. So these people that are missing, please, if you think you've seen them, contact the authorities, let them know so that they can be found. Like I said, sometimes you leave voluntarily and then it turns bad, and we want to bring them home. Christie, it has been a pleasure getting to talk with you, and I thank you so much for coming tonight. What advice in closing do you have for anyone that's interested in helping with the Doe cases? What can they do?
Well, they're welcome in my group
Okay.
if they would like to come and try to help. Because of all the changes in Vandy's case, we're starting from scratch,
Okay.
doing it the way we did with Vance Rodriguez to see if we can get any further. And the biggest thing is talk to each other, talk as advocates, talk to people, let them know. My doctor used to know about all my cases. Oh yeah. There'd be
Oh,
something
that's funny.
medical on it. I'd go, "What is this?" And she would explain it to me. Talk to people. I keep
Yeah.
flyers on my phone. Show the flyer. Share the flyer.
Okay.
And please, if you've done an ancestry test, download to GEDmatch and all those other sites, because that could be the
Okay.
gift that sends someone home.
Okay, that's awesome. Oh, Doc, someone said our Venmo didn't work.
Yeah, I know that. I just saw that, and
I'll check on that after.
yeah, I need to check on that because I didn't know that.
I'll also, all the information on our missing people will be in the description. And we had some awesome people come visit us. We had Southern Gal True Crime. take it to trial. We had missing in Black forgotten, Black people, the forgotten, that came to visit that have channels. So please check them all out, you guys. If anybody else has a channel, just mention it so that we know. Um, because there Barbara Hall, she has a channel about her son Timmy. Um, we need to get these people found. We need to help each other. There are enough missing and deleted people out there that all these cases need help. We can do things that the police don't have the budget to do sometimes, because we can do the talking. We can do some legwork if we can. We can go, if someone's missing, go on a search. Even if you can only do a couple of hours, do it, you know? Vandy's been waiting 6 years for her name, you guys. Someone has to be searching for her, hopefully. And so let's make sure that we get these people found. We appreciate Christie. It's a tough job. And sometimes when we're doing this kind of work, we can get a little blunt because we've been through it. And so, please show grace to each other. Don't be ugly with each other, because we're doing it for the right reason. We're looking out for the missing and the murdered, and that's what's important. Um, so I want to make sure that we all realize that if you see these photos of Vandy, go over to her website, get that one that shows the 3 different pictures, the one with the AI. Please share that. It's really important to get that out. I will be putting out it on all my social media because I want to see Vandy found. So please remember, every killer relies on your silence, but so does every nameless victim waiting to go home. Please don't give it to them. Our motto is silence is betrayal. We thank you for taking the time to spend with us tonight, because we know you get to choose where you hang out. And we appreciate you taking the time to hear Vandy's story, because it's important, and also the missing people. Remember, it's not a mannequin. It never is, you guys. These are people that have families and were loved and cared for and had hopes and dreams. So please, if you want to support us, you can donate to our Venmo or our other thing. I don't know. If you can't, because times are tough, that's cool. You can support us by watching, sharing the video, subscribing, hitting the like button, because all those algorithms, the mojo that happens, Doc understands it. I don't. So stay compassionate, you guys. Keep seeking the truth. Keep demanding justice. Never stop speaking up, you guys. We love you all. We're going to see you next Thursday for another MMIP. And so thank you for coming. Ciao. And I appreciate it. What do you have to say tonight, Doc?
Good night, Doc.
Okay. Good night, everybody.
Greetings, truth seekers and justice warriors. Let's ride, seize your storyteller with that fire in her eyes. A ride or die, Doc's riding shotgun by her side. Moon rose with us through the dark of night, and we're ready for the fight in the wilderness where predators hunt, where the system fails and cases grow cold. We're shining our light on the other side, on the story
justice belongs to everyone. We bring it to light. Through cold case files where time stands still, indigenous voices echo from the void. The forgotten names, we still remember them. We won't ignore any missing souls. Building bridges, breaking walls, answering justice's call. One community, one voice. In the darkness we rejoice, sharing stories left behind, every truth we can find. Welcome to justice after dark, where cold cases never sleep. Every name deserves to be heard, for the missing and the murdered, because even in darkness, justice deserves a voice. Join the story, make some noise. Justice belongs to everyone. We bring it to light. So buckle up, trial junkies, truth seekers and justice warriors. The road ahead gets bumpy as we guide you through another set of stories that need justice. Welcome to Justice After Dark. The adventure starts now. One community, one voice.